present here, today I stand before you to speak against the motion. The motion being, reservation is dividing the nation, not promoting it. A great economist and the architect of our constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, pioneered the reservation policy as early as the 1920s. The Protection of Civil Rights Acts of 1976, the Prevention of Atrocities Acts of 1989 were some measures undertaken by the Indian government to increase the opportunities for enhanced social, educational and economic status of the underprivileged communities and to uplift their lifestyles. Today, the reservation system exists to provide opportunities for the members of those groups of our society who have been unable to create these opportunities for themselves owing to generations of discrimination and ignorance. The reservation policies have been proved to be quite effective. The total percent representation of scheduled caste government employees was 12% in 1960 and has increased to 17% in 2003, fairly close to the percentage representation in the population. A similar increase from 2% to 6% has been seen in the percentage representation of scheduled tribe government employees. Though these figures elucidate the fact that reservation policies are indeed working, but still there is a lot more that has to be done, and thus reservation needs to stay. The insight from the mainstream economic theory indicates that economic, particularly market discrimination, has multiple consequences. It hampers economic growth, it induces unequal income, and creates potential for intergroup conflicts. Therefore, remedies against discrimination, legal, affirmative, or compensatory in nature are required both for equity and economic growth. Though most of us don't accept it, but casteism in modern day India exists. It may not be as blatant it was as it like 200 years ago, but it is blatant enough. The menial jobs are still seen as an area of work just for the lower class society. And the prevalent arranged marriage system of India very well promotes the caste system. When it comes to education and employment, we want equality. But when it comes to sharing a public space with a person from the lower classes, we have our reservations. Till we can socially accept lower classes as our equals, we cannot demand to take away their rights. Even after many years of independence, reservation still needs to be continued. Maybe reservation policies will never achieve their goals, they should be just discontinued. Most people would believe this, but most people are forgetting the fact that social revolution takes time. Moreover, the socially elite have reserved the basic human rights of the lower caste for hundreds of generations, and therefore it is only fair to conclude that the same amount of time would be taken to undo their deeds. There are still numerous sections of the society who have not been able to prevail the benefits of reservation, and the last thing that would help them would be to discontinue reservations. These sections need incentives for them to even consider education as a necessity. These incentives are provided by reservation. How many schools do you think are there in every square kilometer area of rural areas? Or how many colleges? Far less than desired, and therefore reservation becomes a necessity. A major part of our society is economically backward. The opportunities availed by the normal middle class far outnumbers the ones availed by a person from the lower class. A person from the lower class requires more number of resources to conquer the same grounds, not because of lack of merit, but because of lack of opportunities. And these opportunities are provided by reservation. Reservation has degraded in its operation with the passage of time, and politicians have misused it to their heart's content. However, it has given far more to the society than what it has taken. Corruption will not be reduced dramatically if reservation is removed, but there will be a massive imbalance in representation in the educational and employment fields of our country, thus leading to economic and social degradation. This will also be the purpose of democracy, which is based on the idea of equal representation of the diverse population of our country. Reservation has its pros and cons, but the pros outdo the cons by a large margin, and it cannot be denied that the benefits of reservation policies have helped the Indian society grow in a way no other policy has made possible. India is the second most populated country in the world, and thus with reservation comes increased competition, which is not such a detrimental collateral damage if you come to think of it. Reservation has worked, and it will continue to work, and thus it needs to continue. Thank you.
Very good. Next from